Um, okay, so can you see my screen?
Yeah, కనిపిస్తుందండి.
So see, guys, the first thing that I need to just reiterate is, so today we are discussing about continuous integration. Okay, which is a very nice topic. Before that, we need to just have one level of review of the whole development process. Okay, so the development process, as we discussed in the classroom previously, that in the world of BDD, yes, I need to put everyone on mute actually. Okay, so I'll put everyone on mute. If somebody want to talk, unmute yourself and talk. Okay. Okay. So as we discussed in the classroom that in BDD, typical BDD cycle, okay, if you are in a BDD process, a typical BDD cycle will have requirements. So I'm talking about agile and BDD. I'm not talking about Kanban board and stuff. I'm talking about agile. I mean BDD. So in typical BDD, so BDD is one of the flavor of agile. So in agile also we will have, so agile have a lot of flavors like Kanban, Scrum, extreme programming, and BDD. Like that, in the case of BDD, so BDD come into picture. The process is same. For example, they're following agile Scrum or agile Kanban. The process will be same, but the main thing is the way of testing and the way of writing the requirements and way of performing the tests are very different in BDD. Okay, so the testing point of it is very highly focused on testing. Okay, from day one itself, testing starts. So as you see, seen that the process is like requirements, initial requirements, then product owner will review the will create a high level requirement, which is nothing but like epics. Okay, epics means how I can tell you is, if I open any, okay, let me show a dashboard how it looked like. Okay, so in Jira, I think you all have seen it. So in Jira, what happens is, example, you can see that. So you will have like this, the roadmap will be there. So there will be a lot of epics. Epic means always a high level requirement. You can see that they're like very high level requirements written like this, like in a form of epics, that I want two screens, and like, I want to develop a module. So like that, we will have epics as your high level requirements always. And under epics, so under epics is a high level requirement, and under epics you will have a lot of user stories. You can see that in one epic we have child stories, and every story will in turn will have the details of that particular story in the requirements. Okay, so it can be acceptance criteria, in the form of acceptance criteria, and also the form of information will be written the best way that the company needs. Okay, like that, every epic is you have epics, and under epics you have stories, and under stories you will have acceptance criteria. Okay, I'll write the notes in this word, in the word format. Okay. Okay. So what we're discussing today is BDD. In this BDD, we're talking about epic. What is an epic? Can anybody?
High level requirement.
Yeah, perfect. It is like a high level requirement. Okay, and underneath the epic, what we will have? User story, and every user story will have few things like title, acceptance criteria, and also they will have what you called release, like priority will be there. Okay, and the important aspect of a story will be your acceptance criteria is very important. And what else? Your sprint. Okay, so right now sprint is not decided, but right at the level of where I'm talking, this PDF file is where the high level requirements will be created. So epics will be created. After that, then based on epics and the discussion between PO and BA, then the BA, see, PA will create draft stories. So he will create epics and he will create stories. So if you see my screen again, so there are few epics for which the stories are not created yet. For few epics, the stories are created. So and out of that, few have enough information. Few stories don't have any information yet. Okay, so there are a lot of things. I mean, I'm showing again if you don't understand. So every epic will have. Okay, so every epic here. You want I'll open a new screen. See, the few in the epics we have a lot of things. The few things which got requirements clear, and the few stories which are not, which had the title but the requirement is not given yet. So that means like a PO will create this kind of stories, but he won't actually write the acceptance criteria. He will wait for his discussion with BA about writing the requirements. So how the requirements will be written? The requirements will be written by BA in the Gherkin format. Okay, that is very important. So for an example, if you go to if you go to any of the story, let us take one story. Okay, example, you got home page, we got business listing, something like this. Okay, so right now you can see that there are few things like information here. Okay, so see, acceptance criteria doesn't mean that it should be always like that. So it is about putting the information as good as possible, and then here what your BI will write it, he will write the scenarios like this. Example, in this case, it is nothing but list of businesses should be shown on a home page, like in a page. Okay, it is just like what do we say? Like your like a gum tree or something like that, a business listing, or what you call it, even Google also will have business listing. So something like this. Okay, so I'm talking about something like a listing. Okay, example, somebody want to buy some properties. So this listing, this module in the middle is like is what somebody have to develop in their own software. That is the requirement. So what the scenario is, should be able to see the list of businesses. Okay, in the order of posting, something like this. He will create like this. Then he will create in this. So in this feature is about all the listing. There may be sorting order, the lot of things that we have to write. Okay, so there are a lot of scenarios we will come. I will talk about that. So it's something like this. Given user is in business listing page, when he goes for first time, okay, the default, then the list of businesses should be should be shown, and the sorting, here I'm talking about sorting order should be as per the timeline the ad is posted. That is that. So it should be posted as per the newest first. Can you see this? Oh no. Okay, it is different way. I think because it's featured. Rather than see this 11 hours, 13 hours, is it sorted? Yes or no? It is sorted by the timeline, isn't it? Okay, so newest thing will always come first, and this is the featured listing. That's the reason why even though it's 12 days ago, it will be up. But normally you can see that it is as per the date and time. That is what he is expecting. So that is one of the acceptance criteria. Then you will have another scenario. Scenario is about details of the listing. Should be as per. Should be as per designs. Okay, no, as per below. What we are writing here. Here we will write. See, this is like a BA. User is in business listing page. The same thing I'll copy here. Oh no. Okay, when he see the details, okay, they should be, okay, it should be, so you can write some like table here. Okay, so we can insert a table. So if we put a table here like this, so what should be there? That's what I said. Okay, the listing should have title, should have details, should have rating, not details, title, days ago, timelines, rating, what else? Just you can see that title, location, brief description, like this. Okay, location. Okay, something like this. So like this is what I'm just saying. So like this, you have the very draft version of requirements in Jira, which is written by business analyst. Okay, makes sense, guys? Any doubts?
Sir, I joined a little bit late because of the poor internet connection. So, just quickly, could you please? Lakshmi here.
Okay. See, actually, I'm recording everything, so
Okay.
that is one good news.
Okay.
So apart from that, I'll just say that what I'm talking today is before I'm going into continuous integration, we are understand. I need to explain you how the process works. Okay, so in BDD, how each and every stage works. I'm showing that. Why? Because very importantly, continuous integration is an integral part of BDD. So in BDD, your continuous integration starts from the day one. So before that, you need to understand how the BDD works. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the reason why, as I said, first thing, the high level requirements will be in epic format. Then the low level requirement will be in the user story format. And in the user story, we will have all these things, which is nothing but acceptance criteria, title, and everything. That's what I said.
Okay.
And I had shown an example of how a BA will write a requirements including acceptance criteria. Okay, but keep in mind that it is still in the draft format. Now what happens after this is happened, then what happened, then the QA will review the acceptance criteria. Okay, means very important, this is what that is what the bread and butter of every QA will do. What QA will do, he will actually he will review this. Okay, so I don't want to go in detail, but what happens, so now this is what the BA will write and say that, guys, this is what the requirement. Now what happens is this requirement is okay, but you know the thing is, this is good for us to get the information, like high level view of what to develop, but this is not enough to test it at the depth. So this is not a testable condition, it is in a understandable condition, but it's not in a testable condition. So this requirement, if you see, is very vague, isn't it?
Yes.
So now once the QA get this, so what happens once the BA written the acceptance criteria, then QA will review it. Now he will review it and he will ask a lot of questions, plenty of questions. Number one, like for an example, if location, if timeline is default sorting, what are the other sorting orders? Right, if you are telling the default order is timeline, what else is there? Is it like sort by location, sort by distance, sort by alphabet? So what is there? Because in this information, do you have that information? Okay, so that is what. So example here, you can see that there are a lot of other sortings. So he's asking, because it's not explicitly mentioned, and here he's talking about the listing. So don't worry about the search category and all these things, because he's focusing on this module. So he is asking what is the other kind of sortings available. That is a valid question that he is asking. But how he will ask, he will put in a comment section, or he will directly physically go and ask. Okay, but however, let us put that questions here. The next thing is, you're talking about the details. Here, you're talking about detail. You're talking about price and all these things. Okay, so the question is, what happens if, example, if the description is more than 100 characters, then what happens? So now you can see a small dot, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is never mentioned. So don't think that what you are seeing in the company is the final polished version of what they have done the work of almost 1 year. So think back when they're actually developing it, when there's nothing on the ground, then how, I mean, they can't just develop and keep on, oh, this is not there, that is not there. So it's not like that. Agile is about getting all the things in the place. They will visualize, QA have to visualize and say, yes, why this is not there, why that is not there. So he have to make sure that he have to visualize that application is built. But yes, if it is 500 characters, then what happens? Then the list will become very big, the description. If there's no description, then what happens? So there's a lot of things that he will ask, because instead of founding the bugs later, he's trying to get the acceptance criteria as clear as possible. What is the max preview of description, right? Next. Okay, so example, the timeline is there. Okay, so timeline is there. It is hours ago. The listing is okay. Yeah, even for title also there should be a minimum length, isn't it? See the title, the dots. What is the previewable? And after that, what happens? So typically the answer is it will convert into dot. So when he's testing, he will have to put all this test data. So that what is the previewable length? Okay, and then uh, see because the favorite is not it was not mentioned, we don't need to talk about the favorite. The price is not mentioned, we're not talking about it. And here we got the what you call some tags, so we don't need to worry about it because it is not they haven't mentioned here. The only thing that they mentioned is description, title, and location, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's the reason I'm just focusing on that. Don't worry about other things. Even the Gumtree has been developed with iterations or the period of time. So maybe in next iteration we will get favorite, and after that we will get pricing. So those kind of things it will take some time. So it's absolutely fine that we're just focusing on what is required. Okay, but however, I think the important blunder that they have done is they haven't talked about images. So no, till now we are like looking like this, but we haven't discussed about the images.
Yeah.
That is one big question. Okay, so what is the format of images, and what if no image is uploaded? Example, there's no image uploaded, what happens? So these are kind of questions. Now what happens? We will keep all these questions. Okay, let us save this. So now what happens? I think it is all automatic savable. Yeah, it is saved. Okay, I will save this. So now what happens? Now this particular acceptance criteria now will go back because we are saying it's not clear. Get lost. We won't take it. Now we will put that question to BA. Then BA will again go and put that to product owner. Because BA can answer few questions, but example, the question like image. Do we need to show the image or not? It's a very big question, isn't it? It's a big requirement. So now the BA will ask product owner, tell me what happens. Then the product owner will respond. He say that, yes, very good questions. I really appreciate it. This is what you people have to do when you go to jobs. Because every ticket that they're writing, they will be the draft status. Then there'll be few meetings before sprint called pre-sprint meeting, discover meeting, or some kind of meetings which is before sprint. It is not about what you are working, it is about what is coming. So you'll have that meeting, so you should go there, and you need to, before going there, you need to, just like me, you need to go through the requirement and put all the questions. And when you go to meetings, you need to ask, come on guys, why you are written a very vague requirement. So this is where the quality comes from the day one. So QA pushes towards quality because every line of requirement will have a lot of implications. If one thing is assumed wrong, then that assumption will become a very big bug, and that big bug will be very costly. So that's the reason why BDD. I mean, I know continuous integration is the topic for today, but what I'm telling is continuous integration is very strict at BDD is very strict at quality. So the quality is coming from day one, and I'll tell you how the quality is ensured at the at the last in the delivery also. Okay, make sense?
Question, sir.
Yes.
So with the given high level requirement, the quality analyst, it's all about assumptions, right? Because now you have the screen and you are thinking about images and all, but at that level, there is no development at all, right? It's just initial stage. So it's all about imagination and assumptions, right? Whatever questions we are going to ask the business analyst, all based on assumptions and imaginations. Is that right?
Yeah, no, it is not
Don't
only.
even know how the listing is going to be, right?
Yeah, but I think, hello sir, I think they will provide us a wireframe, right? I mean,
Yes,
if it is like a
exactly.
UI, they will provide a wireframe of the page, what it looks like, so we can match it with that. Yeah.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is exactly what Aparna was talking about, wireframe.
Okay. Okay.
So this is a wireframe. So before this, they will have some view. I mean, Aruna is absolutely right that without nothing, it will be a very big assumption. But but they will have some kind of wireframes, like how it is. This is exactly what this, right? It is almost this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So now this is what I'm basing my my whole class today. So I have wireframe. So this is what will be there before coming to the sprint. Okay, so this kind of images will be there beforehand. So based on this, so this will be done by the out of the work. So even the QA will not involve in this kind of forming. This will be done by designers. So these wireframes will be done beforehand. So this will be input. So this image example. Okay. So what I will tell is so example like this. So what happens is in this story that we're talking about, so they will have this as an attachment before coming into the, before they do anything. So they will put this as an attachment. 1 second. Okay. So they will have that particular image as an attachment. So when developer and when, when the QA is reviewing, they will have this basis. So that is the base that they're talking about. Now, does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So this is the skeleton of that web page, how it looks, that acceptance criteria.
Yes, it is. It's called wireframes in technical terms. Okay.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Like if you have a base on that, based on that, we can make our questions or comments or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes more sense. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So that way, the questions will be back to the PO, and the PO will then come back saying that, okay, this is fine. Okay, very good questions, QA. You will first appreciate us. So it is about teamwork, guys. I'm telling you, it's not like product owner how to only give requirements. We only need to blindly test. That mindset is completely gone. We are in a very advanced world where testing is responsible for everyone, and you can question anyone if somebody is not following a quality guidelines. Okay. So now what he will tell is, okay, very good question. So now he will answer this question. So what he will write, okay, so in the listing previously what he missed the image part. Then he will put image, and ideally he will put image should be in the, see, now we're not talking about the back end. So we don't need to worry about what the format of the image. So his question is good. I mean, he's asking what is the image, and if there's no image, what happens? If image should come, if no image, there should be some default image. Default. Okay, means some like a black and white. I'll show you in a minute. Give me 1 second. Okay. So if you go to Gum3, example, if they don't have an image, example somewhere, go here. Yeah, this one. See this. And I'm going there. See this? Can you see this image? The black and white one. Hello? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Can you see this image? This one.
Yeah.
The black and white. So if there's no image, then that's fine. I mean, they skipped this and they had shown a black and white image. So especially for this ad, there's no image, but that's fine. So that is what he will say. If there's no image, then it should be black and white. So he is saying that it should be a default image. So that black and white image is something that they're putting a default image. Maybe tomorrow they'll change that to, and they'll put some question mark or something like that. That doesn't matter. For us as a development point of view, it should be in some image. Okay. So that will answer this question. Then what is the previewable length? Very good question. So previewable length will be, so the title, so he will say that previewable length is maximum of 100 characters. And beyond that 100 characters, what should happen? He will say that it should go into dots. Okay. Then go to dot. Okay. So that means that we have to test such a way that we have to test the boundary condition here. 97 characters is very important here. Okay. See, this is where the testing come into picture. We have to test with 96 characters, 97 characters. Then 97, it should be fine. 98, then it should start going to dot. Okay. So because these 3 dots are also characters, right? So you should. So he's telling that 100 characters including dots. Okay, so you should be very, very careful. Okay, so I see, even though I'm not testing it, if I think like that and write all this information in the story, then tomorrow even I am not there in the company, but still the testing will be absolutely spot on, and the people will test it properly. Otherwise, these three things. Example, they had assumed that the excluding dots it is 100, then it will be again a problem, because technically from database point of view, he is allowing 100 characters. He is not allowing 103 characters. He will make this limit as 100 characters. Then what happens? Then it will be a problem where you will raise a bug that I am putting 100 characters. 100 characters is not shown. You will raise a bug, but that is not a bug, because 97 characters is the preview, not the 100 characters, which include dot dot dot. It's a very, very small thing. That very, very small things will lead into big bugs. Okay, so that is the reason why you need to be very clear in your acceptance criteria. Okay, so yeah, I'm just putting about description. Description also including dot dot dots, 300 or 200 characters. Okay, that is what. Okay, this is boundary value conditions and everything, because when the test is how they test it is, I mean, you don't need to worry about anything. When they test it, what they'll do, they will put a database insertion. So they will insert the data into database. So they will create a script saying that insert a record, and in that record he will put a test data, some dummy text. So in that text, we have to make sure that he is inserting number one, 96 characters. Everything should be fine. 97 characters. Everything should be fine. 98 characters. Then that should go dot dot dots. And 100 characters, it should go dot dot dots. 101 characters also, it should go dot dot dots. Okay, like that. So that is cleared. It's a timeline default. Yeah, sorting order is. So this is again good question. What is the default sorting orders? For this question, typically any product owner, any experienced product owner, what he will say is, this is out of scope, because he is saying that he will say that this is out of scope and will be dealt in different story. Okay, do you know why he is saying like this, product owner? Because you can see that what the sorting orders, how many are there? We got 4, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 of them. Yeah.
So see, now again, keep in mind that every story should be individually small one. They should be small one. They should be not big one. If you put sorting order, then the story will become too big, because there's a lot of complexities in that, isn't it? Low to high, high to low, the lot of testing effort and lot of development effort. So they want to take this bit out of the scope right now. So it is good that we asked. If we haven't asked, then we don't know. Because we asked it, then the developer, then the product owner will say that this is very good question, but right now we are not developing the sorting order. The sorting order will come in the next sprint. Okay. Now, keeping this in mind, now let us go to next stage. So we got a clarity from the business analyst and the product owner. Now, are we 100% clear about how the application should look like?
Yeah.
Okay. Now your cucumber will come into picture. Okay. So now you see that, very importantly, see that whatever I'm written here, it doesn't follow any Gherkin syntax properly. So I had given examples, but what is these are examples? So what is this? What are the acceptance criteria that written? So see, it will look like Gherkin, but it's not 100% Gherkin. Okay, so there is no rule that because your Jira is not a Gherkin validation tool. Jira is a tool where you can plainly write all these things, but however, it doesn't validate Gherkin. Now this is where the QA will come into picture. This is where your actual work starts. Okay, so you need to pull your socks up now and get ready for the work. Okay, So now what will happen? Now let us copy paste this in my automation framework. Okay, now itself I will start creating my feature files. So what I will do, I will create a new feature file called oh no. Oh my God. Create it. So it came in text format. Delete it. Okay, see this. This is what I copied, right? So it doesn't look very much like a gherkin. So now what I will do, I will help. Now this is my headache, because whenever you are converting your acceptance criteria into cucumber format acceptance criteria, the reason is you have to keep in mind that we have to automate. Automation will come into picture now. Okay, so I need to think about automation. So that's the reason why now. Okay, so this is why. So now what I will do, I had copied. Did I copy it properly? Yes, I copied it. But what I haven't copied it is examples. Now your details is should be like this. So what you will do, you will put examples. You know all these things, right? So what you will do, simply you will now create your. So now say now I can modify it. See now QA can modify as per his requirement. So you can see that is there a difference between this and this? Line number 19 and 7. Is there a difference?
They are same. Yeah.
You know, they're not same. The small difference is there.
Spelling mistake, sir.
Yeah, spelling mistake and capital letter. So now, see, acceptance criteria is BS and PO's thing. Now it is Gherkin. This is my own. So what I will do, straight away I know that these both are same steps, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now I will properly reformat it. Okay, it is business. Okay, so I will write it listing properly. I'll write it, and now I'll copy the same thing. Okay, because you know that we have to reuse this step. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so this spaces and all we don't need. Okay, now. Okay, he should see that the okay, so he should see that it should. Okay, no, this is all not correct. So what I will say, he should using okay, he should see the below listings, below businesses. Now what you will do, okay, very important guys, very important, keep that in mind. What I will do is the background is now I'll set up my data. Means that it is about, see, it is not about testing integration, it is about you insert few data, okay, and you see the preview. So what I will do, clearly I will write given I insert, okay, the data into the database, and I will write a script. And what I will do here, I will create a step definition somewhere here, and what I will do, I will create a database insertion script. So I will create something like, I will create a util dot. Do you have a utils or some reversible thing? Let me think.
Utils is there.
Utils, right? So no, I don't. Let me think.
Utility is there.
Utility, yeah, utility. Yes, perfect. Okay. So what I will do, I'll say that utility. Is it a non-static class? It's a non-static class. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, utility is equal to new utility dot, okay, insert data, something like this. I will create. Okay. Okay, so what I will do here, I think you know here, right? DB dot. So that is, so we haven't have a JDBC here, but normally in JDBC that what they will do is something like dot insert script. So they'll put something like this. We will, I mean, that is all database. And then, okay, so then you know SQL command, right? Insert. So insert, and then we will put few records. So we will insert some data. What is this data? This data is nothing but which will insert the data just like this. Okay, so we are inserting few records in the database. Okay, and then we will open the application. Then what happens? You have that data. So it is not about testing the integration. Previously, what you did in the admin panel, you had added few things in the nopecommerce.com and you had tested it. But here now it is not like that. Okay, so now what happens is now it will change differently. Okay. Okay, so that insert command will be your backend application data. So in admin panel, the same thing that you can do. For example, if you want to test something, that you will have to set up the data. That is very important. So you set up the data either through admin panel or through backend, like a SQL. So in this case, you can say SQL. Like that, your data is set up. Now what happens? Now go here. Now I will put an example because that I know that what data is set up. What I'm expecting here, I am expecting here. Okay, now data with example. I write the test case name. Okay, so see how efficiently we can use Gherkin. Title, description. What else we are looking for is location and okay, timeline. Okay, something like this. Okay, so example, I'm just focusing on 3 records. So what I'm expecting that the 3 records should be like this. Okay, one is something like the title should be something like example. Let me copy this. So what I'm expecting, so one with the default image and one with something like this. So shoes Nike. Okay, so that is the title description. So because you know this is the data that I am inserting, I have 100% clarity on how it should look like. Okay, so what I am putting, because this is the data that I kept in the SQL script, what I will put these details here. Okay, something like this. Okay, so location. What is the location of this ad? Seven Sisters. By the way, it is very funny that somebody is selling his shoes. Who will buy these shoes? That the used ones. I think they should have a requirement to stop all those kind of unwanted ads. Okay, anyway, timeline. When he posted this guy 19 days ago, oh my god. Okay, anyway, so but this timeline, you can see that is a dynamic thing. So you need to make sure that your database script is always not, you need to make sure that the data is, you have to dynamically update the data. It should be always 90 days ago. Otherwise, it will be a problem. Okay, so those kind of real-time problems you will get. Okay, so now, okay, so something like this. So shoes Nike or something like that. So what I will do, this is one test case, and the second one is the one which don't have an image. So what I will do here, I will take this title, price negotiator. Okay, I'll put here. Okay, so now I will put all this information like this. Okay, so why I'm putting all these things, this is exactly what you will asset in your application. Okay, so I'm just putting the comma here for now, so that the comma will become a second line. Okay, so I think this is all distorted. Okay, Anyway, I will just reduce the size only for the purpose because we're not automating it. But in real time, I will write some utility to fix all these problems. Okay. Okay. Who's this? I think this is completely lost. Okay, it added 3 lines. Okay, that's fine. Looking for a buy a house or flat. Okay, something like this. Okay. Okay. Okay, so like this. So what is the location of that? Some other location like else quote. Okay. The timeline is, so make sure that 46 days ago. Okay. But the only thing here, the test case here that you need to understand is there's no image here. Okay. So I will write it no image. Okay. Default, something like this. Okay. So like that, every record that I want to test can be become like a, see, this is an example. So I'm testing 3 records in my page. Like this, I'm writing it. Now you can see that I'm writing examples also. Okay. This is what the QA is doing. However, there is one more important thing. This is all okay. So if you go back to my, here I can say, what I'm saying is QA now elaborates the acceptance criteria and creating the BDD scenarios. So there's a difference between acceptance criteria and BDD scenarios. BDD scenarios is different, acceptance criteria is different. So what is this that you are saying right now? Guys, I need to put you on mute if you are not putting yourself on mute. Okay. I'm putting all on mute. Okay. I don't want disturbance. Okay. So like this. So this is what we are writing. This is the BDD scenarios. Whatever is in Jira is acceptance criteria. So what is now the difference? I mean, what else we need to do? First of all, yes, we had added few examples. That is what we have to do. Apart from that, we also have to write few negative scenarios. But because is this enough for the story? No, not 2 scenarios. There are a lot of scenarios. For an example, if no data found, then the default page is shown. Okay, with message. Okay, so now this is one of the scenario. So in this case, what you will do, you will clear the database and you will open that page. Then what happens? Then you should say, example, somebody is searching and there's no records found. Then what happens? See here in this case, example, I'm searching here. I'm searching for something called iPhone XX. Okay. Is there any model called iPhone XX?
No.
No. Maybe it will come in future in September. Okay. So now this is the negative scenario. So this negative scenario, we have to say that you should see the okay. You should see. Okay, if there is no matching. Okay, this is in distinct way. So for this, what we have to do, I think we need to write as, I think we missed something. We have to say that given user search with keyword. So I think this is what we missed. Keyword now XX, something like this. Okay. Now maybe previously there may be a specific keyword. Okay, makes sense? So that is the way we can be writing negative scenarios. That is where I am coming from. So now we got negative scenarios, positive scenarios, and all the cases that we covered. So now this is what? Now it is absolutely happy that we can copy this. Because we can't link between Jira and this, then now what you can do, you can simply go there and copy the scenarios in your comment section here. because we don't want to disturb that. So we can happily go and paste this. So what I did, I pasted my Gherkin scenarios in the comment section. Now see that. Oh, I think this is some background coming up. Let me paste it in the notes and paste it. I think there is some issue. Okay, see what I will do. So ideally, guys, something you always 24/7. You always have to work in Jira. Jira is your bread and butter in your company. Okay, so that's the reason why make sure that you keep you need to understand how to do all these things. Okay, I'm just deleting this and let me put as a plain text. Okay, now does it make sense? Does it make sense now? Okay, looking good, isn't it? So now this is the way we write the scenarios and keep it ready. This scenarios is what we are coming from Cucumber in our BDD scenario. So now scenarios are 100% completed. Okay, shall we go to next page?
Sir, for the second scenario, there should be a link between the examples and the steps, right?
Oh yeah, good question. Good question. Good question. Yeah. Okay, so using business, you should show the below. Yeah, I said below, right? Yeah. Okay, so I mean, you can just simply do this. I mean, it's just yeah. I agree. Okay. Okay, that's a very, very good point. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay, so now I will delete this. Don't worry. Okay, and I think one more thing, we need to make sure that we remove the last one. Otherwise, it look very awkward. Okay. I can put in plain text format and then I can copy it because this is a small formatting problem. That's it. Okay. Okay. Does it make sense? See this. Okay. So now this is the way. Now this is the way we are like saying that yes, we are done with the story. So this all happens before the sprint itself. That is called BDD. So yeah, I know we are talking about continuous integration. I'll come there, guys. But this is very important that we need to know how much important the continuous integration in BDD. Okay, now we are in a sprint phase. Do you have any questions, guys, on this till now?
Sir, can we go back to the last scenario? I think then and missing, sir. I think then is missing there. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Good point. Yeah.
Sir, one more question. You said for the field days ago, you said something like dynamic because it should not be the constant like that. So how to implement that? Is there anything more about that we should know?
Yeah. So in your utility, when you're writing here, you're writing insert script, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the session is not about that, but I'll tell you. Okay.
Okay.
So we have something called date. So what we will do is we will always there'll be utility where we need to get the date which is 19 days before today.
Okay. Yeah.
And we insert that.
Yeah.
So we are inserting example 90 days from today is 14th. So maybe 23rd of February will be the date that we will insert. That is the reason I'm telling we'll do the setup. So here, so this is the step which will insert the data. In the insert data, we will put the 23rd. Example, I'm running the test today. So the Cucumber is inserting the data. So if I run the test today, it will insert the data of 23rd February. And that automatically 23rd February, because they had posted 23rd February, it will be always coming as a 19th, 19 days back.
So we need to know the date when it is posted, and we can calculate how long ago it has been posted. And
No, other way around. Here the test data is same.
19 days. Okay.
Yeah, 19 days. So we will insert that. We'll post the application in the past. So we will insert. We are inserting in the data, or we will do some kind of utility such a way that it is always this as a test, because cucumber will fail tomorrow if it is not properly. So that's the reason why we are inserting the date, which is always 19 days ago. If I run the test tomorrow, it will be the insertion will be happening. It will say that the date of posting will be on 24th February. Like that, it is always like that. So these kind of things is what we need to, because we know Java and all these things, we need to use those skills to make sure that the data is always static.
Okay.
So let us move to the next thing. So the story is presented. So now you can see that the story is very matured. It looks very good, isn't it? It got all the data, it got the screenshots, it got information, it got question and answers, it also got the test scenarios. So now the story is, yes, very good to develop. Now we will put the story in the sprint planning. In the sprint planning, till now there's no estimations yet. Now in the sprint planning, what the people will do, then they will put the estimates. Now what they will do is, they will there should be some field. So now what happened, developers and testers will look again, they will discuss. Now because the view is very clear, then the developers and testers will say, yeah, very nice, this is good. Now to develop this story, how much time it will take, means how many points. Then there'll be like, there'll be a lot of points. So I'm just putting this time as a configuration. Time primary fields is your secondary fields reporter. Yeah. Okay. So timelines, edit field name. It's like a what are called estimate. What is that called? This is a nice word for that. I'm not getting it.
What, sir?
For the timeline, what you will say?
Timeline in Jira you're talking about?
Yeah, in Jira.
Yeah.
See that there'll be like the series side 1, 3, 5, 13, 8. What is that called?
Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series.
Yeah, that's Fibonacci series. What is that called? That is called a
story points.
Yeah, story points. Perfect. Yeah, story point. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Yeah, that is the story points. Yes. So the story points is something now in the sprint planning, the story points will be there. So as I said, effort estimation will be done at this point. Okay. So yes. So now in the sprint planning, what the Scrum Master, everybody will discuss. Now they'll present this story in the before also they will discuss, but before when they're discussing, everything is at the draft status. Now the QA had given 100% clarity of what is there. Now seeing this, they will understand, okay, so this is a very good story because it got all the details in it. Now your QA again, this is where the QA and developer will everybody will sit down in the sprint planning, and now they will add the what do you call? They will add the estimates. Okay, let me. Okay, so I'm just trying to add the estimate here. Okay, let me think. Where is the estimate? Field, comments, description, title. Where's estimates? Come somewhere. Label, assign. Yeah, story points. Okay. Yeah. So now, oh yeah. So now it is coming as a timeline. Oh, no. Okay. I think yeah, your point is correct, but I need to make it as a not a date and time. It should be a number. Okay. So it should be number. I'll just put this. Then remove this. Okay. Okay, so I'm just putting this. Now back to this. Okay, so how many? Now So now you guys tell me how much time it will take. What will be the complexity of this? Like what will be the story points based on the information? What you will say coming to the story points. You tell me how much time it will take.
I would say a 3 or a 5.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
3. Anybody else?
You mean to say to write the automation for this?
Yeah, very good. It includes automation as well as development as well.
Oh, development as well. Okay.
Yeah, including automation and development, because in BDD automation is definitely should mandatory. So automation and development, how much time it will take?
5 points maybe.
Yeah.
The 5 points means 5 points is 5 points is 2 days.
Yeah.
What is the points?
Yeah, points is okay.
It's equivalent to the man days usually.
Yeah. So how the things will work is here like this. So if it is 1 point, then it is half day work. Oh, no, 1 point is 1 hour. Okay, just think like this. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. 3 points is 1 day. 5 points is 2 days. That's called story points. 8 is 3 days. 13 is 5 days. And anything beyond 13 should be split into one more ticket. Okay. Now, based on this, now tell me how much time it will take for automation as well as development as well.
Maybe 3 days, 8 points.
Okay, 1 vote for that. And Aparna, you are still saying that 1 day, right? Okay. You are saying that 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
5.
Okay, 1 plus 1, 2 votes.
8.
Okay, 1 note for this. 8, 1 plus. Okay. Anybody else? I got 5 votes I got. Any more votes?
Go for it, sir.
8 points.
Venu is 8.
8 points.
3 days, sir.
3 days. Some 1 more for 8. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, 8 points.
Okay. 8 points. Okay. So see, this is exactly what happens in sprint planning. Everybody will give the estimates. Example, we all are the sprint planning, like 8 to 9 members. Example, I'm Scrum Master. I'm asking everyone. Everybody given estimates. So it is not that it is wrong or right. Now I will not ask anyone who had given 8, because it looked like that will be the good answer. Because if it is not like 2 people, 4 people will not do same mistake, right? So now the question I need to ask is why 5 and why 13? So let us ask Charan. Charan, why it is 13?
I think for development and testing, we should be they're going to take maximum time, so we can get like 1 day or 2 day maybe for testing.
So development time, you think that it will take 3 days?
Yeah, I hope so.
So this includes the testing of the development code or just the automated script for the testers?
Very good point. In BDD, there's nothing like manual testing, only automation and running the automation.
No, we will write the automated script, but do we need to run that automated script after developing this page or these scenarios?
Yes, we have to run and make sure that it's all passing also.
Oh, okay. So there is a dependency between the development and
yeah. So development and automation will run parallelly. Means you and developer will sit together and you both will develop application in parallel. Okay, so that is the reason why you will definitely see, it is not about who does first, who does last. It is about you both have to combine and make sure that automation is passing, which indirectly means that even development is also passing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So development should pass, automation also should pass. See, the assumption is that you got framework in place.
Yeah.
And the few tests already running. Okay. And now assumption is that application is also not like from scratch. It have a lot of pages like Gumtree, but you're adding a new page. So it is just addition of what is there. It's not like from scratch.
Maybe eight is sufficient.
So somebody changed their mind. This is exactly what Scrum Master want to discuss. Okay, very nice. Now, Charan, you're assuming on development. Example, development had taken 1.5 day. Then will you change your mind?
If they take 1.5 days, I'll be left with 3 days, isn't it?
No, you will left with 1.5 day. If it is if it is 8, but if it is 5, then you have to. Then you are saying the development is 1.5 day and testing is 3.5 days.
Now we can finish it before that.
Yes, so that's the reason why I will also put you in that pool. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I think this 8 is a very good answer because 1.5 day development, half day automation developing, or like working in the automation and developing the code, and you also got 1 more day. So half day you will also work with developer and make sure that if it's all good, then the final half day will be executing the test, and if something is failed because of locator and all, you'll still go and fix it. So what 3 days? 3 days is a good answer. Okay, makes sense.
So do they provide the locators before the development for us to write the automation, or do we need to write the skeleton of the without locators, finish the automation, and then we need to update the locators?
So locators will be given. Because you got wireframes, right? You got wireframes indirectly. Your developer will give you the locators.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So now let us go to the next phase. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think 8 will be our estimates. So you will put that. Now, again, Scrum Master will discuss. Okay, so you got 8 points. Now he will see the priority. How much priority that particular story having. So do we need to definitely do in this sprint? Because it is almost taking 3 days of effort. So considering other stories in the sprint, we have to considering other stories in the sprint, we have to think whether this is feasible or not. Okay, because in the sprint it is not only this, you will have 1 more other stories, and typically in a sprint cycle we'll have 10 working days, means 2 weeks, isn't it? In these 2 weeks, this is taking 3 days, and keep in mind that you have to have something else. Okay, I'll show you. So typically, as Scrum Master will decide whether we need to take this story in the sprint or not, because it's not about you just give an estimate. Once you give an estimate, not that every stories will go into the sprint. Okay, because we didn't see the estimations and whether it is feasible or not. If it is feasible, if it is 8 points, and yes, it is doable, so we got enough bandwidth, then yes, they will accept the story. Then the story will go into the sprint. Now in the sprint, this is where the actual work starts. Okay.
One question. Yeah. Is it fixed in Agile 2 weeks, or it's up to 2 to 4 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends actually. That is a good question. Yeah, it depends. Companies depend by company and company, team by team. Okay, but typically it will be 2 weeks. Okay. Now, once we go into the, so now again, I still remember that we're talking about continuous integration. Now, this is where the few things will come into picture. Now, the actual automation starts. Now, very importantly, you have to think that your automation test is also done in parallel with your development. So, developer is also working with you. So, the development will happen in parallel with automation. So that is the reason. The first thing is you need to understand few things. The point here is very important to listen that whatever the development is happening, that development will happen separately. Means your development will happen in a branch, and your automation will happen in a branch. Now this is where you need to understand few things like what is branch, what is environment, what is build, and where the code is written, where we have to test, and how we have to make sure that the regression works, and how we have to do a minimum impact to the actual production, because production is your baseline. Production should not be disturbed. Even though you don't add a value, that doesn't matter, but you should not add a bugs to production, because production is a baseline. It is the most safest thing that we should make sure that is very secure. It is very important. So from here onwards, till we push our code into production, we should be very, very careful in few aspects. So this is where the build pipeline will come into picture. Your automation will come into picture. A lot of things will come into picture. Previously, automation is completely like waterfall model, where see till now, this is one story. If it is not BDD, what happens? We will have these scenarios, but nobody automates this till next sprint. So what happens? Development happens. Manually, people will test. Then in the next sprint, whenever QA got a time, then they will automate. Because at that time, even development is done, testing is done. At that time, we will just do automation for regression purpose. That is what the Agile Scrum is about. But now we're talking about BDD. Completely things are changed. Automation is now not in the next sprint, not at later stages. Automation is done along with development. So you are actually part of development. You are developing. So that is where TDD, BDD come into picture. Tests are also developed in parallel with development code. So you are actually be part of the actual development process. Means when our developer, see normally what happens in a Agile Scrum, developer will develop some code and he will deploy it. Then what we will do, we will test it manually. Everything is okay. We'll go to next sprint. Next sprint, we will do automation. If you don't have automation, it doesn't matter, because automation is only for the regression purpose or later purpose. That's what people have to have less focus. And automation is never a part of development, because even developers don't care, BS don't care, everybody don't care. But now, because automation is integral part of development, you can't move a story to done status without automation also. So you can't actually say that automation development is done without automation. Is also automated, all scenarios automated, and is also working. So automation project is also will be developed in parallel with the development code. Okay, understood? Guys, are you all there?
Yeah.
I'm talking like Sai Kumar and nobody's listening, then I. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. So what we will do, that's the reason why I have one more PPT to just touch the basics of what you have to understand as a part of continuous integration. And from here, the actual cinema starts.
Sir, a quick question. It might be a silly one. So in this, I want to know like what the manual testers might be doing in the script.
Who is manual tester?
So I'm comes under the automation, but manual testing people that
edge case scenarios.
No, there'll be no manual testers.
There is no manual testers.
Game over.
Oh. Oh, okay. In the BDD, you mean to say?
Yes.
Oh, BDD comes under the automation. Okay.
No, this, yeah, I mean, BDD, see, nowadays, there's no, see, typical, I'm talking about a good companies like Sky, Eurostar, and BBC, these kind of companies where they got a good development processes and this BDD processes. For these kind of companies, there's nothing like manual tester.
Okay. So everything is done by the automation, but every each and that, do we need to like all the like negative and positive scenarios?
See, whatever you think is a
Okay.
good scenario, you need to write in Cucumber format, in Cucumber, yes or no.
Okay.
Say here, whatever you think is a good test case, you have to write it, yes or no. Even small edge cases, whatever it is, you need to first of all document everything.
So whatever the test cases comes into the manual, just assume that there are manual testers. So whatever the test cases they write, do we need to write all of them into the BDD?
Yes,
Each and every.
everything should be in BDD format. So this is your test case repository. There's nothing like QC. That days are gone. Everything is in Cucumber format. All test cases are in Cucumber format.
Okay.
Okay. Now, or whenever you can write in Cucumber format, you should be able to automate it. Yes, right. So example, you're talking about, so example, take this Gumtree. All the scenarios that you can think about this Gumtree listing, you can document it. What are you document it? You should be able to automate it. Why you cannot automate? If you don't have enough skill in automation, you can't automate. Example, you have to automate the sorting order, example, tomorrow, or you need to automate something. So example, you need to check that the image is coming. It's not default image, this image is coming. Example, this is a good test case, but you don't know how to automate. Then what you will do, you will take the help of developer and try to automate it. You can't leave anything without automation. Okay, example, you want to test that there's a default. Example, we got a test scenario where it should be a default image. Then you can see that, take the source, driver dot. Where is my, yeah, somewhere, let me write it. Search page, let me write some code. Browser dot find element. Okay, let me automate this for you. Okay, so this is what. So I'll tell you. Again, I'm a big fan of XPath, right? You know, right? Okay, so example, this listing. Okay, so yeah, okay, so let me just do this. Okay, so what I'll do, let me write my XPath. Okay, so div. Okay, you can see my screen, right? I'm just saying that example, you want to automate that extreme scenario also, we can automate. That's what I want to prove the point here. That's it. Okay. So is that here? Yes. Text contains. Okay, why it's not finding? Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, I think this is not div. Okay, 1 second. Sorry. This is okay. So I got this right. So I got this. What I will do is I will simply. So what I want to do, I want to check the image of that. So I need to get the image locator of that image, the thumbnail. Okay. So what I will do, I will go to image content. So I will go to parent A. Okay. Parent is not here. Okay, I think the ancestor is here. Ancestor. Yes. Okay, I got ancestor is equal to A. Now ancestor got. Okay, so who I need to go? I need to go to div. First div. Okay. Now I'm getting there. You can see that. Second one. Now / image. Right? Did I get to that point without even? See, now I'm dynamically based on the title of that particular list. I'm getting the image element. Now what I will do, I'll copy this XPath. Okay, got it. Now what I will do, so there is something called, if you know, get attribute. Yes or no? This method called get attribute. What you will do, that get attribute, I will get the SRC of it. So I'll get a source of that attribute. Okay, so the what is that string URL of image. So what I want to prove, again, I'm telling, I'm not distracting. I'm still in the context that because she asked whether everything should be automated. Yes, even the default thumbnail test also should be automated. Now what I'm saying that for that particular listing, we had wanted to insert the data that for that particular ad, there's no image. So in your feature file, you will give the name of the ad, which there's no image. If you see the test case properly. Yes or no? See this. Can you see that test case?
Yes.
So here I want to test that there should be a default image. It's not like we should not get a cross mark or we should not get an image. We should not. There should be nothing like this. No image. There should be an image, but that image source should be this. So copy image address. Okay, I'll put that in the code. So the expected is, can you see that this is what the thumbnail, no image thumbnail. So this is the URL of the image that I'm expecting that to come for that particular ad. Yes or no? Because if you see that the thumbnail image of the other image is something which is coming from eBay. See this. So if a user uploaded, it should come from here. If user haven't uploaded, then it should come, the image should be from this source. Okay, then simply as a dot, as a true, not as a true, as a equals. Expected, actual, we don't know. We're taking from the
URL of image. URL of image.
Yeah. Yes, that's it. So we are taking dynamically. Here we are reading. Tomorrow there's a bug that they are not showing the thumbnail image. Then also this will catch. Okay. So the point here is very important. Lakshmi, you need to understand that the point here is everything should be automated. 100% automation.
What I was thinking is automation used only for the regression testing, like
that is what you used to think, but now you have to think in different direction. Okay, now you are in a BDD world, 100% automation. Okay, so that is where you have to in your interviews you have to say that yes, we are doing 100% automation. Then they will ask, okay, there's no manual testers. Manual testers, what is that? I don't know what is that word. Okay, so that is how the world is. Okay, so that's the reason why. Let us go back to this. So now go back to continuous integration. So there are few questions that you need the few concepts you need to understand before me showing what is Jenkins and all. This is the important. You need to understand the concept. Okay, showing me Jenkins is 10-minute job for me, but for you need to understand where exactly you are fitting, why we need to do continuous integration, where are you as a QA sitting, what is that? Because tomorrow if you go to company, they will ask you, is your automation testing bill pipeline, and are the tests are all running? Can you go and execute the bill pipeline, or can you execute your cross-browsing test? Can you run your nightly builds? That's what the people will normally talk in companies. You should not think, okay, what is all these things? I know Jenkins, I know how to run a build, but what is this nightly build? What is cross-browsing build? What is this continuous integration pipeline? So you will scratch your head. So that is, you need to understand the concepts. Okay, because Jenkins is one of the tool, just like Intel is one of the tool. You are still able to run in Eclipse. So it's not about Jenkins. You need to understand the concept. Then you can easily, you can be fit into a company where continuous integration is happening. However, the good thing is if you go to a company where the automation is not in the continuous integration, then you go and implement it. Or that's what you have to say in the interview. Saying that you hire me, I will put my automation as a build pipeline. Tell that one word. He will be flat there and he will give you a job straight away. Okay, so that is what people want. People want somebody to come and implement BDD, build a pipeline, 100% automation. They want somebody to come and set up an automation framework, which includes page object model and Cucumber. That is what nobody want to ask you, tell me what is different between try catch exception and throw exception. That is basic. Don't worry about that. You are in a very high level now. Okay. Okay, so before anything, I need to go through this PPT theoretically. Then you will understand where we are sitting. Then I will tell you what is Jenkins and all these things. Okay, make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so now any application in the world, first of all, you need to go back to the basics. There are two kinds of applications in the world: mobile applications and web applications. Okay. They are desktop application also, but I'm not talking about desktop application here. Do you know why?
Desktop applications?
Yeah, they are also desktop applications, but I'm not talking about desktop applications here.
We are doing web application testing.
Yes, because Selenium don't support desktop application testing, you don't need to worry about desktop applications. Okay, like desktop application, I mean small. Previously companies used to develop those desktop applications like small like application like MS Word, QTP, and this Skype and all this kind of things are desktop applications. Previously it used to be there, but nowadays everything is now in web. Okay, so don't worry about those kind of things. But typically your applications that you have worked will be web applications. So these web applications will have a typical architecture. Okay, so what is an architecture? Architecture is nothing but every web application that you take will have few important components. If you don't know, you need to start learning them, at least thinking about them. So any web application will have a web container. Okay, so how do I can't show you an application, but web application architecture. Okay, just let me show in a small image. It will be very helpful for you. Okay, so typically web application. Okay, let me think. I don't want to make complex one. Yeah, this one. Okay. Okay, now can you see this?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, very simple architecture. Client is browser. Your browser is your client. Okay. Typically, how the architecture works: you have a browser, and you have a HTTP protocol here. typically you will have a server. In any server, you have two kind of servers: web server, which will take the inputs from your browser, the HTTP browser. You will put google.com. That will go to web server. Then what web server will do? It is like a traffic controller. It's like our Selenium grid, where it will understand. Okay, so you're asking me what you're asking me. You want me to log in. Okay, that's fine. This is a good request. Now it will escalate that request to the application server. But application server will have a logic. What it will do? Example, you want to log in. Then it will, first of all, you put your username and password, right? So it will take the username and password. It will trigger the database, check whether, including your SQL script, what it will do, select username from user table where the username equal to sriram.anjal@gmail.com. Then you will get a result. Immediately it won't respond. Then again, okay, very good. Now select password from user table where the username equal to this. Then you will get a password. Then what it will check, you will get the password. Then it will whatever the password you had given, you give some password 1 2 3 4 5. So it will test that. Then your application server will test that whatever the password in the database, is it matching with the what the user had given. If user had given the equal password what the database is there, then it will say that thank you very much. Then it will show the next page, welcome page. So it will load the content with the welcome page. Okay, and if there's no, if the password is wrong, then it will load a message back to the client saying that please put a message that username or password is invalid. Then the client will show that. So that is the typical web application architecture. Okay. Okay, very simple, guys. This is very basics for I mean at this level of IT it is very basic, but I'm just saying that you will have a web server, you have an application server. Application servers include Tomcat, JBoss, there are a lot of .NET, a lot of application servers are there, different platforms. So now Node.js also came into picture. So there's a lot of application servers. So typically an application server is nothing but it will take a request and it will respond. Okay. Now this is what I'm telling. So you have different layers of application. Now forget about mobile for now. Now what happens if an application is little bit more complex? Example, you want to integrate with the payment gateway. Then in the application itself, you will have a more complexity. Okay. Any questions?
So just one question, sir. The API server sit between app server and the database, or
no? That itself is a separate server altogether.
API server is there, but I mean.
Oh yeah, good question. So
yeah.
that will be behind the application server.
Okay.
That will sit behind. So it is just like a one more database. It is one of the database. But
so it's in between, like a mediator, acts as a mediator between app server and the database, isn't it? So the am I right? Yeah.
No. It is an additional. It is like one more database.
Yeah,
it is on the service layer. Service layer, enterprise service platform, or between database and application server.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Between app server and the database, in this diagram, if we see app server is connecting to the database directly, right? I think API sits in between those. API server is in between the app server and the
services will be running between database and the application.
See, both are correct, but let me clarify. So here, I mean, that typically we're talking about third party server, third party,
yeah.
So the third party API's point of view, it will, because see, your application is, example, you take no commerce application is normally working fine. But if there is any requirement for third party, example, we need to validate the card payment system, then this is not this API, it will have an external API. So then that will be an external, let me copy this and let me put it here. Okay, so that will be an external, external thing. Okay, let me try to put it somewhere here. Okay. Okay. So copy image. Okay,
We can put it this way, based on the business logic, service will invoke.
Yeah. So example, business. So it is just like, and in this diagram, to put this into this context of this diagram, I'm just trying to put it here. Let me insert photo from the documents. Okay, so this is not. 1 second. Okay, finally it had given this. Okay, no, just saying that. See, if can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
So here you have an API server. So depending upon the request, few requests will go to database, few requests will go to APIs.
Yeah.
So if it is a third party, but as you said, if it is not a third party, if your application itself is using an API, then as you said, it will be a middle between database and app server.
Yeah.
If it is microservice kind of architecture, then the database will be wrapped around an APIs.
Okay.
Okay, so depending on if it's a third party, then it will work some way. If it is internal, then it will be working in a different way. Okay, now what is a build? So now, I want to make sure that you understand this instance. So what happens is, typically in a company, a combination of all these things, and an instance of an application is called a build. Means, example, when you type, okay, example, see this. Okay, so now you got userstar.com, right? Okay, so can you see my web page? Okay, can you see my page? Hello?
Yeah,
Yes,
yes,
sir.
yes.
Sir.
Yeah.
Visible.
Okay. Now, what is this called? This is a production application. Okay, userstar.com. So what I will do, I can simply go to London to Paris, 24th, and come back on 25th. Okay, and then I will search. Okay, I'm getting a result. Okay, how much is the cost? Depends, right? A lot of things. 59 pounds. What is this? Production. Now, what is this? Can you see a girl here? Can you see girl here?
Yes.
You can see a girl here. Oh my God. Seven.
Window.
Okay. So there's no girl here. Girl is girl in the production. Now, if I search from same London to Paris on 21st or something, I think 21st. Okay, and 23rd. Search. Now I'm getting results. 29 pounds. Is there a difference between the result or not? 89, 29. Which one you like?
29.
Okay. You can go to 29, but you have to go to a test train. That train will, that you can sit in the train, but you will virtually go into Paris and come back. That's it. You'll feel like you are going to Paris. The train will move, but you won't go to Paris. You will be in London only. Okay. So that is 29 pounds. You want this or this one?
89.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just kidding. But the point here is this is a test server. So the staging means it is an instance. So you can see exactly look like this. Both are same, but they have different databases. Yes or no? One is 59 pounds. One is showing 89 pounds. Means it have a different databases. So that is what the point I want to make here. The point is that your applications will have different instances. So one instance will have one database, but other instance will have different database. So like that, when you are testing an application, you have multiple instances. Example, you got staging here. Tomorrow, what happens? You will have one more thing like UAT. You will have something like test. You have a lot of instances. So that is what I'm telling here. There are a lot of instances. Instance is nothing but one combination of database and application. Like that, how many we can have? Typically, the instance will have a lot of things like, so always the layers. First of all, local application, local build is something like local host. Okay, example, listen carefully. The same USSR application, if I'm able to start here, same application, if I'm able to start here, then what is that called? Local build. Are you seeing any web application here locally?
No.
Something is there, right? So something is there. At least you are not saying blank, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is nothing, but this is some application. So typically understand very carefully that something which typically the point here is even tester should be able to run the same Eurostar instant locally also. Means you should be able to run Eurostar. Example, you are saying this, right? So in your company, what happens if you are working in Eurostar? Listen carefully. You should be like, if you do this, then you should also still get the application in your browser. Okay, so this is what you have to do. So the first thing that you have to always test is in your local, means you are in your own computer. That is called local build. So this is what typically is a local build. So if you are able to run the application like this, then you have taken the first step in continuous integration. Run the test, run the build, means developers build locally. So this is your developer build. So that is the first thing. So you need to understand from that they're different. So they have lot of builds. So the typical builds is, I think you had seen the live, right? So the live build is this. This is the live build. Okay, booking.eurostar.com. I'm just pasting for convenience. Okay, so this is live. Okay, so what is test? So staging is nothing but staging is like a UAT. So there's one environment called UAT, or that is called integration. Whatever it is, it is something which is before something going live is called UAT. Okay, so what I am saying here, typically you have 3 layers of applications. What are they? Local, UAT, and live. Okay, so what are they? 3 different levels of applications. Tell me. One is local, second is UAT, and third one is live. Do you know the difference between all these things? What is the difference? Tell me.
The first one we need to build at the
locally, yes. Your local database, your local application server, and your local thing.
Second one, you can send a request from over the net.
Mm-hmm.
Is the second one at the customer site, isn't that?
Yeah, that's the actual production. Yeah, that's the customer
site. And the live is, no, not that one. I meant UAT.
UAT is for testers.
Yeah, just before the production.
Yeah.
Pre-production.
Okay.
So UAT stands for user acceptance testing.
Yeah,
Okay.
user acceptance test. Typically for the product owners
Yeah.
to verify, yes, this is how the application is about to, yeah, this is nice. For them to give an approval, then we will have UAT.
Yeah.
Okay, now tell me, now this is where the important thing. So you understand, right? This is a different layers. So first thing that you have to do is in your company, when you go, typically you should be able to run the application in your locally. Okay, so that is the main thing. And I'll tell you. So that is where, again, let us go back to our continuous integration. So what happens when you start your developing an application? I mean, when you're about to test something in the story, first of all, you will take the latest code from the Git. Okay, I'll tell you. This Git is different from the two different Gits are there. I will tell you a difference. I think I'm a little bit making complicated. Let me make it very simple. Yeah, let me just follow this. Okay. So yeah, I mean, yeah, local production, UAT, all these things will be a different layer. Okay. Yeah, this is where I want to come. Now, you know what is build, right? You are aware of the concept, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. But in some companies, there may be one more thing called test. So we got UAT, right? Few companies, what they will do, the same thing, Eurostar thing. Some companies will have one more level of instance that is called test, something like that. Okay. So they got 4 levels of 4 builds. In Eurostar, we got 3 builds. In some companies, they have 4. In banking, they'll have 10. So depending upon company, you have multiple builds. Okay, so that is what you need to understand. Build is nothing but an URL, an environment, which the application will be running depending upon. I mean, yeah, they have its own database, its own web server. Okay, understood?
So it will be the same instance of all the builds are the same instances, right?
Yeah, the same instances, but with having a different database.
Okay.
Okay, we can say different physical settings like.
Okay. Now the second thing, repository. What is a repository? Repository is a place where we'll store our source code. Okay. So till now, I think you people keep on listening about Git, right? So what is a Git?
The repo.
That's it. Okay. So it is a typical repository. Where the source code is stored. So example, if I go to my GitHub, which is yeah, so let me go to my repository. I have a lot of, see, forgot about the automation guys for now. I'm completely talking in a sense of development. Think that I am a developer now. Who am I? I'm a developer. Okay, very good. So okay, so now as a developer, I got a lot of list of repositories. Okay, so let me go to this repositories. Okay, so what I will do is, as a developer, I have a lot of code. What is this? I just want to see a list. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so okay, so this is my development code example. What is there? I got some, there's nothing related to Selenium, but I got some source code. So what is the source code? I got some files. So typically you can see that some files, some source code files, some .shift files. Okay. So, okay. So what is this language? Some other language that you don't know, isn't it? Okay. So typically this is the place where the source code is stored. Okay. So now what I will do for you is, I think, yeah. So this is the GitHub. GitHub is where you can put the source code. It can be any source code, any kind of source code. Okay. So don't worry about it.
Is it
So,
kind of a cloud?
okay. Okay. Yeah. It is. Everything is in cloud, secured cloud. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm a little bit advanced, guys. I'm telling you people how to ask me questions. Otherwise, I'll go fast. So it is, yes. So repository is a place where you can put the source code. Nowadays, all the source code is kept in cloud. Why we keep in cloud? Because
You can access through the internet.
Yeah, if you can access through internet.
Access from anywhere.
Yeah, access from anywhere. Okay, so that is the main thing, and it is always secured. Okay.
It's a kind of OneDrive, something like that. Or?
Yeah, it is much 100. I mean, it is like that, but 100 times better than that. Okay. Now, this source code we got. So now, typically, what happens now? If I want to, so this source code is something which we always have. What I will do is, okay, let me open an application. Guys, do you want some break for 5-10 minutes? Or are you okay? I think,
fine. I'm fine.
yeah. Typically, we will take half an hour more, I think. That is where we'll have half an hour more of session. And after that, I think, I honestly, I can't finish everything today. I will finish everything theoretically, but execution also I will try to show. But typically, I mean, as I said, the configuration, everything I'll show you. I want to show you in detail because honest, I'm telling, online is something which I'm really happy because I am cutting my 4 hours of my travel time on travel. So I have much more time now. So typical what I'm saying is this kind of sessions I can continue maybe 1 or 2 also. That's absolutely fine, provided we got good time. Okay. So I want to tell in detail. This is very important concept because this is what your 90% of the interviews will be. So that's the reason why I will be trying to make it as detailed as possible so that you will be 100% clear. Okay. So yes, coming to cloud, I mean, what I'm showing here is, yeah, GitHub. And what I am about to show you is, this is an application. Okay. Yeah. So now once you download the source code from a repository, then how it will look like it will look like this. Can you see this folder structure? Can you see folder structure here?
Yeah.
Okay, now you have to first thing in your mind is development code and automation code is also in the same repository. Okay, so what I want to say is example. Now the first thing is, what is this? You got source code, some development source code, and you also got automation code. What is this? Should be able to put add to car and remove it. So this is a small test. So here this is not a cucumber, don't worry about it. But I'm just saying that the developer's code is this source folder. Now, I said that in our Maven project structure we got 2, test and source, isn't it? Now the whole development codes will go into source and the whole test will come into test folder. So typically the point I don't want to explain all this project, but the point I want to make is development code and also automation code will be in the same repository. That repository will be in the cloud.
Okay.
So within the same development code itself, you will have your, in the same development code itself, you will have your automation also is one of the folder. So now automation is nothing but, you will not have a different folder for automation. Automation code is also part of your development code. Okay. Satyam, Subham. Okay, now, so what I will do typically, what I want to show here today is, okay, perfect. Now see that I started some application. What is happening now? A small application is getting deployed in my company. So this is what I said, that local. So typically what I want to show here is when you start developing an application, you can see that in my local host, I had downloaded the code from internet and I had spin the environment locally. Now where is it running? In my
Your machine.
Local machine.
local host. So that is my development code is ready. The next thing what I will do is, now I want the scenarios. Now what I will take these Cucumber scenarios that I had written, and I will start automating that. In this, I'll automate that, and I will automate it. So see, from automation point of view, you don't need to worry about what is the host, right? You need to get locators. Locators are always same. So you will get the same thing. So automation, you know how to do it. I don't need to tell how to do automation. But when you are doing automation, the code that you are writing, that you will put that code as a part of development. So now your code that you will write here, this is where you will start creating a folder called feature. And in this feature, you will create, you don't need to create, I think you got something. What I will do is, I will typically, where is that? Okay, yeah.
You have closed that application. You opened another application in the same window.
Okay, typically what happens, so just to understand the concept. So here I got business listing, right? So I'll copy it, Windows, React Shopping. I will paste it here. Perfect. Add. Perfect. Over. Now what I will do, now I got the development code. So see my image again. What will happen, developer, now what will happen is developer will, this is the baseline of my application, which is nothing but the localhost one. So what I will do typically is, there is my application. Application, where are you? Localhost. So now what happens, this is my baseline. Now what developer will say, developer will frequently commit his code into Git, and then I will pull the code from Git and I will start seeing this. Example, I am adding a add to cart functionality. So what I will do, I will click on item and I will see the checkout option. So typically what I will do is, as per my automation guidelines, as my scenarios, I will start implementing the scenarios. And when I implement the scenario, what happens? Initially, the test will fail because the developer had not developed any development. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the reason why typically the application will fail. That is not exactly what I want. I want application, I want to automate, but provided you will get some exceptions and you won't able to 100% pass it, that's fine. Slowly, what developer will do, I will also commit my source code into the source code. But with all the tests are failing, what developer will do, he will pull my code, he will see my feature files, he will start developing his code, and he will commit his code, but he will run it locally. He will try to make it pass. Now he will commit his code. I will take the code, I will run my locally. I will see if everything is good. But if I will try to make it pass with locators and all. If functionality is not there, then assertion will fail. If functionality is good, then the automation also should pass. So typically, myself and my developer will work combinedly and make sure that my whole scenarios are passing where they're passing locally. So here in my automation code, the URL that I'm giving here, typically I'm giving the demo.nopecommerce.com. Instead of that, I will give localhost 3000. And I will come here. Okay. So typically that is what I'm telling, where you got everything. So first of all,
your code, your development code also will be part of your automation code. So both will go and combine. Okay, now everything is fine, but where it is happening, everything is happening in a separate branch in GitHub, because in GitHub there is a concept called main and branch. Branch is nothing but where the development is happening. Means Git pipeline. Okay, so let me show you this. Okay, I know it is getting a little bit complicated, but I will try to make it as simple as possible. Okay. How should I show? Okay, so yes. Okay, so simple terms. Normally, what happens then? Developers will create a branch, and in that branch, both developer and automation tester will work on that branch. But that code is always with a branch. Means nobody knows except developer and tester. They both develop it, and finally they will come to conclusion that yes, we have developed a feature where automation is finished, and even the all the BDD tests are passing. That is the whole process that both will do. At the end, the target is that everything is passing locally. Then what they will do, this is all perfect, nice. Let us go to the next stage. Then what they will do, they will merge the code from the branch into the main branch. That's where the problem will come into picture. So what is the main branch? Main branch is the place where the existing application is running, which is nothing but UAT. UAT is the main branch, and your local branch is nothing but where you develop your automation and application. Now what happens? You will merge both your local branch and your master branch, where nothing but it will be merged. After merging, what happens? Typically go back here. Okay, after that merging of the code, this is where what we have to do is, so now I will explain this picture. Okay, I think you will understand more. Okay, shall I explain this? Or is it overkilling? Shall we postpone to next day about this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know it is overkilling. Okay, we will. Yeah, I know. Okay, so that's the reason why I thought, okay, let us pause here. Let us go back and let us pause here. Okay, and I will explain the concept in maybe later. Okay, maybe when. So when is the best time to catch? Shall we do it today evening?
No, sir, not possible for me.
Okay, so when is the best time for all of you? Is it again the weekend, or are you okay for weekday? Because I think online point of view, I'm happy to, because I just want to make sure that I finish it. So
we'll do weekend, sir. We'll do Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Yes, sir, please.
Next Sunday, long weekend. All the phones will be switched off.
Yes, sir.
Next Sunday is not possible for us.
Yeah. When is the next possible?
Yeah,
One of the weekday evening. One of the weekday evenings.
Yeah, I'm happy in the weekday also. What about
Yeah, fine.
Monday evening? Because you guys don't need to practice anything. You just need to understand. I'll send the PPTs and everything. You need to understand, but you don't need to practice anything. It's only viewing. I'm recording the video, right? You see the recording and come again. That's it. Okay. So what about tomorrow evening? Like 8 to 9?
As a weekdays, it's not possible for me, but I don't mind having the recording. That's fine.
Okay, not even like 8 o'clock, 8:30.
No, so I usually finish by around 10:15. You know.
Oh, okay. Well, mornings also we can do if you want. What about Monday morning, tomorrow morning? Oh, mornings I think everybody will be like in the rush. Okay.
No, morning. I can't do it.
Yeah,
We can do it evening, or like you said, 8 to 10 or 8 to 9.
Yeah, tomorrow evening we can do 8 o'clock. Maybe I think Venu, we will record it for you.
Right, sir.
Okay. So I think you'll have 2 more sessions, I think, because I'm trying to make it shorter sessions. So you'll have 1 session on tomorrow, and there'll be 1 more session left, which we can do on, if you want, we can do on Thursday. Venu, which day you are available on the weekday?
Sir, very sorry. Only on Sunday I'm available, sir. I'm totally busy from tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock.